Alright, what's up, folks? Monday, February 6th, 2017. Rich Van Tassel giving you the Celtics report. Could have done it yesterday, but I wanted to wait till the end of that game against the Clippers. That was a very impressive victory by the Celtics yesterday. I would probably say that was the most complete game of the season. You look, they had, I believe it was 7 guys in double figures. I'm bringing it up now. But, they shot a ton of three-pointers in that game, 16 of 52. Altogether, they were 37 of 88. That means outside of the three-point shots, they were 21 of 36. So they were basically making everything from two, and only hit 30.8 of their three-point shots, which usually the analytic rule is you got to hit 33% of the 50%, 33% of the threes to 50% of the twos. But when you're making as many two-point shots as they did, it's a lot easier to justify, I guess, hacking up 52 threes. I mean, did make 16 of them, but still, that's a lot of three-point shots. But yeah, it was all 5 of the starters and 2 off the bench. Marcus Smart, Kelly Olynyk. Kelly Olynyk's coming along. Marcus Smart had a very good game. Al Horford filled up the stat sheets. His shooting still struggling a bit. He did shoot 33% from behind the arc, but was 4 of 13 total. 15 rebounds, 13 points, 6 assists, had 2 blocks, 2 steals as well. Very good with the rebounding. They were out-rebounded by 1 in the game, but you were dealing with DeAndre Jordan. I thought Al Horford did a good job there. Isaiah Thomas, a pedestrian, 28 points. Didn't have to do much in the fourth quarter. I believe he still had his 10, but the Celtics were really coasting. That was just a complete game all the way around. Of course, they had the nice comeback victory over the Toronto Raptors. Isaiah Thomas played very well in that game. I talked about his MVP case. He had the big game against the Lakers on national television, the Raptors, the Pistons, carried them all in the fourth quarter in those games, certainly bolstering his MVP consideration, but that is something to talk about. We did the video, so that's something for another day. You can watch that video as well. As far as the Celtics in general, as I've said with the rebounding, I think it's been better as far as scheme-wise. I don't think it's been consistent yet, but I think they're on the right track. That's certainly something very important. I'd like to see Al Horford improve his shooting. Jaylen Brown is another very big piece. He's been playing well in the starting lineup. Let's see what they do when Avery Bradley comes back. I would still move Jaylen Brown to the bench because he's developing his offensive game, and he can certainly expose second-unit guys more than first-unit guys. I think this has been valuable, letting him develop against first-unit guys where he's played very well, and I think that will serve him well when they move him to the bench coming back with Avery Bradley. Of course, moving forward, they now have a couple days off, but they start a West Coast trip. It shouldn't be too terribly difficult. It's Sacramento, Portland, Utah, and Dallas. 3 of those 4 teams are under 500. Dallas is coming along. That may be a difficult one. They've struggled with Dallas in the past, so keep your eye on that one. Utah, a good team, but they don't have any back-to-backs, or they do have the first 2 games are back-to-back. Sacramento and Portland. That's not a brutal travel once you get there. And of course, they played yesterday on Sunday, so they have 2 days off moving forward. So it shouldn't be that big of an issue. And then they come home for 1, then they go back on the road for 3. And then have one more home game against Atlanta to finish off the month. So, as we've said, going in 20-game intervals, of course, that's about a quarter of the season. You do have those 2 games, 81 and 82, but they started off 12 and 8, 13 and 7. They're now 6 and 3. So they can improve that 20-game record every time. They'd be right around 55 wins. Certainly, the rebounding has to continue to develop. That's something to keep your eye on. I like what I'm seeing with Jaylen Brown. I think they may sputter a bit when Avery Bradley comes in, incorporating him back into the lineup. They may bring him off the bench. That's something to keep an eye on as well. But as of right now, the Celtics, as we said, won 7 straight. They're on top of the Atlantic Division. They're only 2.5, or is it only 2 behind the Cleveland Cavaliers for the top spot in the East. So they are certainly nip and tuck right there as well. Trying to overtake that spot. Let's see what happens moving into the they're only 2 out, so not 2.5, but 3 out in the loss column. So keep your eye on that, what they can do. But the riding high right now, I worry, just not necessarily worry, but that's just a dynamic I think that may cause a bit of a slip up. Just incorporating Avery Bradley back in the lineup. We'll see what happens. We'll see how much longer he's out. But again, they're developing Jaylen Brown nicely, so uh, that's something to keep an eye on when he comes back. What they're going to do with Jaylen Brown? Will they, keep him in the starting lineup for a little bit to bring Bradley back? Will they just bring Bradley off the bench? We'll have to keep an eye on it. All right, so as of course the NFL season ended yesterday, we're going to be going all out NBA now, NBA in depth, player focuses, all that good stuff. Be sure to stay tuned for that. And remember, we appreciate all subscriptions. We'll see you next time. Thanks so much.